he does with his evenings.
Black Panther Wakanda Forever is the latest and last film of Phase 4 in the MCU, a film that from the first trailer I knew was going to succeed. It looked beautiful, it looked like it was going to actually try to overcome its challenge of losing its main star. Cut this whole intro short and to just get into the gist, I saw Wakanda Forever this weekend and it hit me so hard but in the best way possible. I haven't felt this way about a Marvel movie since No Way Home. And as good as No Way Home is, it heavily banks on nostalgia. This is not a dig at it at all. Like, I really liked No Way Home. It has so many good aspects to it, and it balances something that could have been done in a really cheap and corny way and actually manages to make it kind of good. But Wakanda Forever managed to deliver a beautiful story and brought some new incredibly likable characters and lore into the MCU. And today I want to discuss why I think Wakanda Forever is probably one of the best Marvel movies and definitely one of the best movies of Phase 4. And heavy spoilers are ahead, so just fair warning to all those who haven't seen the film. The film from the beginning has just a dark and shocking cold opening that instantly pulled me into the movie. I think you feel a chill kind of enter the theater when King T'Challa sadly passed. The way they handled the death of Chadwick Boseman is handled with love and respect. Everyone was theorizing how he would pass in the MCU, and it's done in a way that's not far off from how he passed in the real life. So coming to a life-threatening illness, he hid from people before it was too late for anyone to help or have time to process really what was going on. The way that Ryan Coogler and the other writers made this film feel so real by adding a touch of reality to something that could have been played off as another superhero loses a big fight and dies type of trope. It's heartbreaking, and the first opening minutes of T'Challa's funeral was some of the most beautiful cinematography I've seen in the MCU. I was holding back tears while watching this movie all the way through. The actors wear a very real grief on their faces throughout, and it's hard to tell what is real emotion or acting. Some monologues in this movie feel like real grief, and the film doesn't do this too much, it doesn't hit you over the head with it and make you feel awful the whole time. There's a lot of levity and a lot of inspirational and beautiful and happy and fun moments in this movie, but the way that it portrays T'Challa's death is done in such a classy, respectful, and very well-paced way where you actually had time to breathe after wanting to almost cry your eyes out in the middle of an abandoned mall. The film has a way of blending two very emotional plots together, and it's very beautiful. I feel like I'm saying beautiful too much, so I'm gonna try to stop that. But speaking of beautiful, Namor, who was an amazing reimagining of this character. Namor is one of my all-time MCU villains now, next to Thanos and Killmonger. He was menacing, he had some charm to him, so you kind of liked him at the same time. The Atlanteans were portrayed in a very horror movie-like way at the beginning of this movie, which made him even cooler. He was just really well done. MCU got their first mutant, and this guy could easily body half the Avengers. He was really strong in the backstory side too. Like Killmonger, you really did understand where he was coming from. He had a terrible, tragic backstory that is linked to real-world history, which I thought was really cool. The parallels between Namor and Shuri are done really well in this movie, where Shuri has undergone extreme loss just like Namor and will do anything to protect what she has left, is the same thing that Namor has, and he leads with a strong iron fist because of this, because he's been broken, he's been ruined, he's been cheated before. This all kind of leads to a theme and message of forgiveness and moving past trauma to become a better and stronger person, and the effects of vengeance and anger can have on someone. Namor is the perfect opposite to Shuri. One of my favorite things about this movie is how it shows and portrays Namor's country. It is really fucking cool and not cheesy at all. I was worried that fish people in this movie would be terrible, but they were really cool. The soldiers used siren calls to kill people, and again, that raid on the boat scene had people in theaters actually terrified. It was like this dead silence. You can tell that most of the CGI department at Marvel was probably focusing on this movie. The CGI is some of the best out of any of the Phase 4 projects. And for those of you wondering, there is some comedy to this movie. The emotional bits are so hard hitting in this movie that you almost need comedic lines to kind of get yourself out of that chokehold that it puts you in. Winston Duke is also just a highlight of this movie, and most of the comedic lines that he gets in the movie are most of the comedic lines in the movie, and he pretty much steals the show in whatever scene he's in. And you could tell in the theater that the audience was feeling the same way about him. Everyone was very, very, very happy to see M'Baku again. So please do not hurt M'Baku, Kevin Feige, anytime in the future. And speaking of stealing the show, Angela Bassett delivers a beautiful performance in this movie. She's just this grieving mother who has lost everything and is dead set on making sure that her past mistakes don't repeat themselves. She rules with a caring heart and an iron fist. And I honestly want to cry just thinking about some of her monologues in this movie. They're really good, like almost Oscar winning. I think there is like a great contender for some of the scenes and some of the aspects of this movie, maybe trying to get for some Oscar noms. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. Another highlight of the film was the introduction of Riri Williams, aka Ironheart, our new Iron Man basically. And I was worried that they were gonna try to shoehorn her like into the movie and make her like kind of like another cameo just to get people excited. But she actually plays like a huge part of the story. She again is pretty much the only other character with comedic lines besides Winston Duke in the movie, and she kills it. She's really funny. She's got the charisma of Tony Stark. And there was even some parallels within the movie of some things that Iron Man did, like on his first flight, like when he flew up straight up into the air and froze. Riri does the same thing, except she runs out of oxygen and she falls out of the sky. And I just thought that was kind of cool that, you know, they're kind of passing the torch to this new character. And I thought she killed it. I think it's really awesome that her first introduction is getting in a war with for Wakanda. That is really badass and really cool. And she's a great aspect of it and has an actual pretty good emotional arc as well throughout the story. I don't want to talk about Ironheart too much, but the connection that she had to the Queen was just really good. I thought it was kind of put in last minute and it could have been done in like a really cheap way, but it really worked and kind of drove the idea of why she was staying there and why she was trying to fight. And I thought it was done in a really touching way. I can't wait to see more of Ironheart, and I think the next time we'll see Ironheart is in Armor Wars, which is that more roady War Machine centric show. Sorry. And by the end of it, it looks like Shuri and her are now friends, and she might be coming into Wakanda more often, coming over, you know. So I think we'll see more of them together in the future, which I really like. I think they're a great duo. They had really good chemistry in this movie towards the end. I was smiling when they did the handshake that she used to do with T'Challa to Riri. That was really cute and made me not at all teary-eyed. Another highlight in this film is actually the action, and Marvel tends to either have amazing fight scenes or terrible ones, and I was kind of anxious about that. But after, you know, waiting and, you know, the first Black Panther fight scene, ending one being kind of I actually really love the fight scenes in this movie. They're done incredibly well. This film blows all of them out of the water. This action is some of the best I've seen since Shang-Chi and No Way Home, I guess. And you can tell that it uses more practical effects and some hand-to-hand combat scenes rather than CGI laser fights in the sky, which I always like way more. Overall, I have no complaints so far with Wakanda Forever. I think this is definitely gonna be one I go back to watch in the theater again, and I'm gonna rewatch it a whole bunch in the future. This is on par for Winter Soldier for me. It is dark and real without sacrificing what you would want or expect out of a Marvel movie. It did the impossible and really surprised me and blew me away. It is actual cinema and a beautiful piece of art that I'm so glad we got after the tragic events of Chadwick's passing. It is a beautiful tribute to his legacy and moves the Wakandan storyline in a new and interesting direction that I can't wait to see unfold in the future. I'm so glad that they didn't kill off Namor. I can't wait to see all these characters back again. I might be writing off the high of this movie, but it is a solid 10 out of 10 for me. I had a fantastic time watching it. I think anyone who's been skeptical of Phase 4 needs to watch this movie. This is the movie of Phase 4. I think that's kind of how it always has been. Again, to go back to my other video, if you guys want to watch my other video, I'll link it above. But my whole point was saying that, you know, in the beginning, it's just baby steps, you know? So you got to get like some groundwork in, and we're just laying in the groundwork. again, Wakanda Forever was amazing. I hope you guys check it out. If you guys liked it, or if you guys want to talk about it, tell me below in the comments. I love our discussions in the comments. I think they're really fun. That's what this channel is all about. So guys, discuss below. Did you like Wakanda Forever? I don't want to completely say, you know, I'm not trying to say it is 10 out of 10 perfect. I am saying that, I get that, but you know, it is to me. I really enjoyed it. If I go in and see a movie and have a great time and I have no complaints, then how is it not a 10 out of 10? Yeah, for phase 4, this is high on the ranking. So yeah, guys, let me know in the comments. Again, I'm terrible at these outros. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And guys, thank you so much for all the support coming in recently. It's been really great. And I'll check you guys out next week. Peace. Bye-bye.